You agree with Jermichael Finley's criticism of Aaron Rodgers?
I do to a point.
To a point? What point is that?
At the point in which you start assessing people's corneas and you start reading into the irises and their eyes and whatnot, you start reading into all that. That's when I'm like, okay, you might be doing too much.
Yeah.
However, Aaron Rodgers isn't as dedicated this season. And again, I don't think that's very debatable. He spent his offseason. He usually spends off seasons in Hawaii, but this one appeared excessive. He never has typically contemplated retirement. I'm going to break this down for y'all in a very real football way. When I was in college, my goal, be an All-American, be one of the best 3 to 9 linebackers in all of college. I came out with Luke Kuechly, Dante Hightower, Bobby Wagner, so I had my work cut out.
Boy,
came out with probably 3 future Hall of Famers at the position. But here's what I knew working out going into my senior year, y'all. I knew this, so I said, okay, everybody in the nation is working out from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Everybody in the nation is. So, Emmanuel, you're not getting better than anybody working out from 6 to 8. Everybody's doing that. We talked a lot about relativity on this show. So while I'm getting better, if everybody else is getting better at the same pace I'm getting better, I ain't getting no better in context. So it's the work that I'm doing while other people aren't working that's separating me. Aaron Rodgers, he was not doing the work this offseason that others weren't doing. Thus, I don't think we're seeing the same separation. Yes, Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure, was throwing the ball at times, and he checked out on his vacation like most other people do. But it's the work you do while others aren't working that separates you. Y'all, don't think you can go to your job from 9 to 5 and think you're going to be better than anybody. Don't think you can do the minimal requirements in life and think you're going to be better than anybody. It's the work you do while others aren't working that actually separates you from everybody else in your industry, in your job, and in this life. Aaron Rodgers ain't been doing the work that others weren't doing, and I think that is what has become apparent.
Oh, man, you agree. So you do agree with Jermichael?
I do. I agree with J-Mike. He went too hard, but I agree with him.
He went so hard, it made me disagree with him.
Okay,
like and that's a weird place because at first when he started talking, I was like, okay. And then, like you said, you start reading people's eyes between the helmet, and you could tell in the week 1 eyes that he can't win the Super Bowl that same year. The hell
you're doing a lot.
What the hell you talking about? You better buy a lotto ticket. You better be at every gas station across America doing Powerball if you can see that damn forward in the future. But you can't, Jermichael Finley. I respect you, but you got a gripe with Aaron Rodgers. Well, this ain't the first time Jermichael Finley has tried to come.
He got beef. We know
he got beef. He got beef. I don't know if it's banquet beef. I'll tell you that story another time. A lot of teammates have banquet beef. You brought the wrong person to this banquet, and they like me because I'm... Okay, anyway, I went through that. Here we go. Let's talk about this situation. I'm going to ask you a question, Acho. This is trivia. I ain't trying to put you on the spot, but you're the only one here, damn it. Where did Aaron Rodgers work out in seasons past, in the offseason? Okay, it's a really rhetorical question. He works out at Proactive, which is out here in L.A., way out there, right? Well, all them stars be working out at. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers was there this year or not, but you know what is interesting? People paid attention to where Aaron Rodgers was on vacation this year, but I wonder, those same people, did they pay attention to where he was on vacation in years prior? Maybe he still got the same work in because in narrative, we're looking at everything. You're under a microscope because you're causing commotion in Green Bay. It's funny that narrative can get away from you. I disagree with you, Jermichael. Aaron Rodgers has responded before. Narratives get away from you. Peyton Manning had a narrative, first in, last out. Peyton Manning was first in, last out. You know who else was first in, last out? A lot of sorry-ass quarterbacks, too. A lot of them. First in, last. A lot of them.
That's real.
Come on, man.
That's real.
We've been there.
Real.
Like this whole I outworked you. I hate when people do that to me because I'm like, look, you can work the hardest and someone else can work hard as you. But this whole you can work the hardest and you're by yourself, we all have the same amount of time in our day. No matter how rich you are, how poor you are, how busy you are, how lazy you are, we all got the same bank account of time. 24 hours in a day. So if you want to spend all 24 of your hours playing football, okay, but don't act like somebody can't tie your ass. Somebody else can do 24 hours too, but they may not get the same results. I push back on this because Aaron Rodgers looks like, to me, a guy who just had a bad game. Jermichael Finley. Do you know that Aaron Rodgers actually had a worse game last year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And what did he do after that game? He came back and gave you 4 touchdowns and 131 passer rating the next game. Why don't we give him at least a game to respond like he has in the past before we start saying that week one, I looked through his eyes and could tell he is not committed and won't win the Super Bowl this year. Got to bring in one of Aaron Rodgers' teammates, his former teammate, Fox NFL analyst, Greg Jennings. Oh, Greg, you got some questions to answer. Do you agree with Jermichael Finley's criticism of Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I think from a spectator's perspective, yeah, you can say whatever you want to say. You can agree, you can disagree. You can draw an analysis of what you feel like you saw. And if that's what Jermichael saw, that's great. I think what we all can agree on is he wasn't prepared, period. This entire team was not prepared for what happened on that football field. And the reason why I can say that there's some of what Jermichael's saying that I can pull from, but not all. And the lack of preparation is where I feel like I could see where he just was relying on how it's always been in the past. Well, you got that jump shot, you got that step back, you got that one move. Oh, I'll do that. It didn't work this time. Oh, shoot. Is that in relation to why I wasn't here or the lack of preparation or the lack of time? But I will say this. We've all played. We've all had guys, if we weren't that guy who's held out, who's drawn attention to themselves because of a decision that was made or a statement that was made or what have you. However, we all also have wanted to guard against what happened to Aaron Rodgers in week one. And that is when you make a statement the way that he made a statement this offseason, and you say and you make all the demands and you kind of fight for what it is you want, you better be ready to play. When you call out teammates, when you point the blame and it's not directed at yourself, you better ball out when the film is rolling, when the teams collide. You better not be the reason why we lost that game. And that's what Aaron Rodgers was. And that's what he didn't do. He was the reason they lost, along with a lot of other people, but he's going to get the main attention because he garnered the most attention in the offseason. And so when I look at that, I look at a player that's like, oh, shoot, yes, I'm going to bounce back. Because we all fear that. A guy who gets paid, their number one fear is, well, I don't want to be the guy that got paid, and all of a sudden, I'm not that guy, that same guy no more. They're going to think I don't have it anymore. They're going to think I don't have that same edge, that same fire. Things are different, but that doesn't mean the expectation of your play from even yourself is going to be different, and it was for Aaron Rodgers, and I think that is what's so alarming. That is what we were like, oh, shoot, yeah, he's had a game like that before, but he ain't never had no offseason leading up to a game like this before where all the attention was drawn to himself because of himself. So with that, yeah, you got to take away a little bit. It is one game, but it's a game that leaves a little stain because of all that led up to that game.
Now, G, I know a couple things. I know Mike and Aaron Rodgers got beef. They had beef.
Hey.
And so I know Mike probably got a little too much seasoning on this take. Just a little extra pepper, a little bit too much cayenne, maybe too much chili powder. However, I have to disagree with you, Greg, when you say that the Packers weren't ready. This is a problem with narratives in football. I've said this before. A defense gives up a ton of run yards. Oh, they're soft. A team gets blown out. Oh, they weren't ready. Aaron Rodgers wasn't ready. Because as we roll the highlights, the second interception, the pocket was incredibly clean. He just threw it up to, I don't know who, maybe he threw it up to the Angels in the outfield and thought they was going to come down with it. When you talk about that first interception at the goal line, Aaron Rodgers, you know better than to throw that pass. Your team and you had already marched all the way down the field. Y'all were only down 17-3. You scored there at 17-10. You score again on the next interception at 17-17. So I don't want to say that everybody wasn't ready, because Aaron Rodgers gave up 2 bonehead plays, only 12 possessions on an average football game. He handed 2 possessions away to the Saints. Rodgers wasn't ready. So it is on Aaron Rodgers that they got blown out. I agree with Mike, my dog, Jermichael Finley, in the aspect of Aaron Rodgers isn't prepared for this season. Now, Rodgers might be so good that he can prepare in the middle of the season. Rodgers might be one of them dudes like Usain Bolt, where it don't matter if you have a bad start. They so good that when that turnover gets to turning over, it's a wrap. But at least in week 1, he wasn't right.
Okay, so this is what I'll respond with that. And I'm going to say, yes, Aaron Rodgers wasn't ready. But when you look at the team, well, he didn't just lose the game because of his performance. They lost the game because of their performance as well. The defense gave up some points. Let's not act like they didn't. And this is how it goes. When you play a team like the New Orleans Saints, who had a quarterback, a Hall of Famer to be, in Drew Brees, and he's no longer there. This is what it sounds like in a locker room. We've all been there. Hey, look, guys, defensively. Hey, look, guys, they got a quarterback. He's been in their system, but he hasn't played in over a year. He's going to give us opportunities. He's going to put the ball in a position for us to make plays. So you go into the game thinking, oh yeah, he gonna get me this pick. I'm gonna get this interception. He gonna be careless with the football. All these different thoughts because you're excited about the failures of your opponent instead of the expectation of the what ifs and just preparing yourself for all that could potentially happen and being so sharp. That is on both sides of the ball. And I think it carried over offensively because no one in the Green Bay Packers organization probably thought that the New Orleans Saints was going to put up points like that Jameis Winston was going to play the way that he did and allow that offense to look the way that it did, and their defensive front dominate the football game all game long. No one thought that. Because of all that precedes the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, they've been to the last 2 NFC Championship games. They're going to be just fine. They got one more season with potentially Aaron Rodgers, or this might get all blown up. So you think they're going to be the more prepared team. You think that they're going to have everything checked when they come into that stadium and strap those helmets and to put on those shoulder pads. But guess who was ready and waiting for them and said, not today? The Saints. That's why I say it was more than Aaron Rodgers. Yes, we know that ain't gonna cut it. Period. And the one issue that I do have with this though, where I can't say I side with Jermichael, but this is where I get on Aaron because if this were Tom Brady and Tom Brady had a performance like this, we would be saying, "Oh, it's over. This is the clip. Oh, it's a done deal." But Aaron Rodgers has this, and because of his talent, because of his ability. And he's always been smooth. That's why I'm not going to sit here and say I can see it in his eyes. I can see the future. He's always gotten up to the podium and act cool as the other side of the pillow, like with that Cali swag. Like, it's nothing, we'll bounce back. He's always said, relax. Come on, we've all remembered the relax. So I can't put it on that. But what I can say is if this were Tom Brady, how would we all be responding? Would we be saying, well, I think Tom is done? That's my issue with it. And Aaron Rodgers, we know he mentioned possibly entertaining retirement. So that lets me know right there, a player who has entertained retirement and then decided to go into retirement. Once you start to fuddle and fiddle with something on the outside, you're not as locked in as you once were when you never had that entertainment of it before.
Save me some ribs, golly. Okay, this is going to be some quick hitters, and we're going to go there real quick. To answer one thing you said, is because you're right, that defense came in with a dull knife. Playing against Jameis Winston, they just wasn't as sharp as if you were playing against Drew Brees again, because you just don't know. And they didn't sharpen their knife before and wasn't fully prepared against Jameis Winston. I'll give you that. The reason why Tom Brady always is going to hear that cliff conversation simply because of his age. He ever underperforms, we look at his age. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. You ever underperform, we look at your attitude and we say, we're going to question your commitment, because people always are on the edge in terms of accepting Aaron Rodgers' attitude. We get that. I got a question for you, G, since I see your face right there. Why does Jermichael Finley and Aaron Rodgers really have beef? Give it to me short. Give it to me real.
You know what? I can't really answer that question.
You're lying.
For me, I'll go for me. There was never a beef. There was always a feeling of, man, my guy didn't speak up for me when I was on that teeter-tot of staying or leaving. So for me, I squashed all that. Like that is, I've crossed that bridge. I don't know what is up with Jermichael Finley and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's clapping and praising. Sometimes he's completely severing them with a Ginsu knife. I don't know what's going on.
I thought it was one of those public-private things that we don't know, but y'all know and people can know, so it's all good. I don't want you to out your homie. Yeah, we already know. You already squashed your beef. That's good. Well, let me speak to Jermichael since I don't know him that well, and he's a big dude, so I don't want to speak out of turn because if I ever see him, I want to be nice. Aaron Rodgers has had games like this before, Jermichael, and I don't know if you've had podcast interviews like that after those same games. You remember in 2010 when he had no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and they won the NFC Championship game? Oops. 2014 against the Bills, his MVP season. He had that kind of game again. 2020 against the Bucs last year. You know, he won the MVP again last year. So this year, this might be a good sign for Aaron Rodgers. Good things come from him when he's humbled in this way. That said, this is why people don't talk trash. This is exactly why people don't cause commotion. This is why you don't peacock in life. And I hate this because it's fear-based. Like, if you talk trash in all season to do something and then you don't play well, we're going to jump on you. Well, jump on me then. Let's separate the real from the fake. And these two things don't have to be connected, but we're going to marry them right now. Last thing I want to say, I don't even know if it fully applies, but I got to give some respect out. Here's what commitment means to me. Bruce DeHaven was our special teams coach in Buffalo. Number 1 special teams coach. Rest in peace, Bruce DeHaven. I remember when we went into the meeting, he knew nobody wanted to play special teams. Duh. We all want to be starters on offense and defense. Who in the hell wants to be there? He said, guys, if you give me 100%, I won't guarantee you guys will ever block a kick. I won't guarantee you achievement. But if you don't give me 100%, I will guarantee you'll never block a kick. Aaron Rodgers, you somewhere between 0 and 100%. Hopefully, it's the latter.